What is up, people? Today I am going to be getting into my Man of Steel Blu-ray and 4K review coming up for you guys next. So, Man of Steel in Blu-ray and 4K. I'll start off with Blu-ray because that's where I always start off. This Blu-ray looks really damn good, and for a while this was actually like reference quality material for my TV. I mean, it is crystal clear on Blu-ray, and for a movie that was shot digitally and on film, it's kind of hard to do. But I feel like they really have perfected that art of melding those two art forms together to make a really good and solid looking movie. You know, Superman has a brand new suit here, and it is very textured, and you can definitely see it. It's almost like alien-like. And even when you're on Krypton and you have those very, I call it like Giger images, you know, H.R. Giger, the guy that developed how the aliens would look in Alien. You know, it has that kind of vibe here, and a lot of the armor on Krypton has that same vibe, and it really does look great here. And visually, just visually, Man of Steel is really great because that's what Zack Snyder, the director, is good at, and that's what he excels at here. Now, there are some things that I just don't like how this movie was filmed. You know, they keep on using the close-up shaky cam. Hold the camera still. Please back up off of your actors. And the CGI in the film isn't the best, especially when we get to the huge, you know, pound 'em up action scene at the end of the movie. But this is still reference quality material for anybody, and it is damn sure a 10 out of 10. This is a really good looking movie on Blu-ray. So getting into the 4K Blu-ray that actually came out in June of 2016. This one is tricky for me, you know? I had high expectations for it, I'm not gonna lie. The Blu-ray, like I just said, looked really damn good, and I expected this to amp it up and make it look better, and, you know, that's not really what we get. So I'll just start off by saying that this movie was actually filmed on 35mm and digitally to make up a 2K master. So that pretty much means that this is another up-conversion job to 4K. But that doesn't mean that this shouldn't be great. I will just say right off the bat that HDR doesn't really come into play here, and I feel like it absolutely should. I feel like the upgraded color palette should be even more lush and even more gorgeous, and especially on Krypton with those really dark reds of like the lava that comes up. And I just feel like it doesn't look any different than the standard Blu-ray, and that will become a problem for me throughout the presentation on this 4K disc. With certain action scenes, they do look a little less chaotic and more detailed in 4K, but at the same point in time, those are just really minor upgrades. And for a 4K presentation of a movie that I really liked the way it looked in the standard Blu-ray, I was really disappointed the first time that I actually saw this, and for that, I will have to give this a 7 out of 10. It still looks good, but at the same point in time, I expect it to look even better, and I don't get that here. So next, we're going to be getting into the audio of Man of Steel, and you won't want to miss it because this is one to remember. Coming up for you guys next. So the audio of Man of Steel, I will start off with a Blu-ray, and that features a DTS HD 7.1 track that is completely incredible and matches the Superman name, because this is a pretty damn super audio track. It is better than super. It is amazing, and one of my favorite DTS HD tracks. I mean, even when this movie first came out, I absolutely loved the way that it sounded, and I couldn't get enough of it. I mean, I love it when I can feel the bass of my subwoofer in my chest, and it hits me when you have a big fight scene in a big battle, and it just goes, And that is exactly what happens here. This track is just balls to the walls, hitting hard, great audio track. But that isn't to say that there aren't subtle parts of this audio track as well. The score for this movie by Hans Zimmer has a whole lot of nuance to it, and that is definitely represented so damn well here, and I really do love this score with the piano playing, where you get to really feel what Clark is feeling, and then with the more actiony moments when the drums kick in. Oh man, I love this score, and I love this audio track, and for that I will give it a 10 out of 10. Guys, this is reference quality material right here. 10 out of 10. So getting into the Dolby Atmos track that is only on the Ultra HD 4K disc, I will say that I had a lot of high hopes for this because of the fact that I loved that DTS HD track so much. In order for me to replace that, you had to do a damn good job, and they do. This sounds incredible, and it nails it out of the park. Every single bit of what I loved about that DTS HD track is brought into this track, but only with more nuance and more of a punch, and damn, I love this mix. I noticed the surrounds even more in this Dolby Atmos track than the DTS HD track. And those height speakers, they do get a bit of a workout. I will say that this is kind of light on the height speakers, but at the same point in time, the dynamics of this track more than make up for it. And for that, I will have to give it a 10 out of 10. I just love how this movie sounds, whether it's on Blu-ray or 4K. Hey, you know what? This is just a really good sounding movie. So next, I'm going to be getting into the special features of Man of Steel, and you won't want to miss it. Coming up for you guys next. So special features for Man of Steel. We get a whole lot of featurettes here, and wow, some of them are really cool. You know, we start off with a featurette that really explains how they wanted to change these characters and modernize them, and that is a beefy featurette that really is about half an hour long, and it is really cool and informative, and it kind of goes into why they made the changes that they did. And then, of course, they have to go into the action scenes for half an hour and show you how they did that. You know, we got one featurette about Krypton and how they reimagined Krypton, and then you have two other featurettes, and really there are a lot of featurettes here, but no deleted scenes and no audio commentary. Now, I will just say that this is where the Blu-ray release and the 4K release kind of separates itself and divides, because if you bought only the Blu-ray of Man of Steel, you will actually get a second special feature disc that has the movie again on it, only with Zack Snyder appearing at random spots and feeding you information, almost like an audio commentary track, but a live one. Zack Snyder likes to do this. He did it for Watchmen also, and he's doing it here. It's just something that the guy likes to do. And you will also get like a news style kind of short documentary that comes on that disc as well. But that is only for the solo Blu-ray package of Man of Steel only. Because if you bought that 4K package, you do not get that second disc of special features, which means that there are actually less special features on the 4K release than on the single Blu-ray release. And none of the special features are actually on the 4K disc. In the Ultra HD 4K package, it is just on the Blu-ray that you get with the package. So that basically leaves me to give the standard Blu-ray package a 6 out of 10. It's really not that bad. But at the same point in time, since we get less special features on the 4K release, I have to give that a 5, and that will really hurt this disc. But hey, you know what? You got to give us the same special features if you want us to do the double dip, and they kind of didn't here. So, of course, I have to go into my last looks and my scores for Man of Steel on Blu-ray and 4K coming up for you guys next. Man of Steel is a very divisive movie, and it was a very polarizing movie for me that really inspired me to actually do this channel and actually talk to people about this movie, just because I had so much to say about it. I have serious issues with the translation of Superman in this movie and the changes that they made to his character. To me, I have to separate Superman in my head from Superman in this movie and just say that this actually isn't Superman, because he is not that heroic, and to me that is what personifies Superman. But at the same point in time, we get some very good world building in this movie, and we also get some really good actors in this movie. So if you didn't check out my video review for Man of Steel, I actually gave it a 5 out of 10, and yeah, it's just a really polarizing movie for me. So if you actually add up all of my scores for the Blu-ray of Man of Steel, I actually gave it a 31 out of 10. And if you actually add up all of my scores for the 4K Ultra HD version of Man of Steel, I actually gave it a 27 out of 10. Yeah, guys, the 4K Ultra HD release of this, really, it's kind of not worth the buy. Just, you know, if you are just dying to listen to this in Dolby Atmos, hey, pick it up. But if not, you're not going to get anything better than the Blu-ray transfer, really. So next, I have my review for the home release of Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. You guys won't want to miss that, so subscribe so you know when that comes out, and you know you want to see that video. I have a lot to talk about there. And hey, if you feel like I was wrong here, just let me know. Comment. Even if you agree with me, comment. Let's talk about it. I want to know what you guys thought of this release when you picked it up yourself. And as always, guys, thank you for watching. You guys are great, and I will see all of you next time.